So oil executives are set to meet with the Trump administration starting tomorrow, according to a senior official, after the United States ousted Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, home of the world's largest known oil reserves. There's a look at the countries that have the biggest reserves around the world. With that, we bring in Interior Secretary Doug Burgum. Secretary Burgum, thank you very much. It's good to see you. Good to have you with us today.
Likewise, Martha. Great to be with you.
So there's also Wire reporting this afternoon that the United States and Venezuela are in talks to send Venezuelan crude exports to the United States. What can you tell us about what's happening here?
Well, at the top level, of course, none of this is possible without Commander-in-Chief President Trump. Strategically brilliant, and then, of course, the breathtakingly excellent execution, not only of something like when we were bombing Iran earlier and taking out their nuclear program, or here, removing a head of a criminal organization, Maduro, who also posing as a president, doing that with flawless execution. All of that's only possible because President Trump had the foundation of having a policy of energy dominance, and the fact that America can take these actions against countries that have these large reserves, and we see virtually no change at the price of the pump here in America, reflects the great strategy and the great execution of the American oil and gas industry, American energy industry, and President Trump. But in case of the synergy between Venezuela, heavy crude, the refineries that we have on the South Coast in the Gulf of America, which were built to handle that, and then you need to dilute that heavy crude with a lighter product. And of course, we have an excess of that lighter product here because the shale oils that come out of the shale revolution in America are perfect for blending to achieve this. So if you're in the refining sector, this is great news. It's great news for jobs. It's great news for gas prices going forward. It's great news for America, and it's great news for Venezuela, because Venezuela has an opportunity now to actually have capital come in and rebuild their economy and take advantage of the fact that they've got larger oil reserves than Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, one of the richest countries in the world. Venezuela, one of the poorest countries in the world. It doesn't have to be that way. With American technology, American partnership, this Venezuela can be transformed, and that's a win for this hemisphere. It's a win for the people of Venezuela.
Yeah, if we can make arrangements with Venezuela that preclude them trading with places like Cuba, we may indeed see a fall of the Cuban communist government as well. With regard to resources in the minerals and rare earth minerals, which is something we talked a lot about with regard to Ukraine and, of course, China, which has a lot of them, and that's a complicated story. Here's your co-member of the cabinet, Howard Lutnick, talking about what they have. Watch.
They have steel, you have minerals, right? All the critical minerals. They have a great mining history that's gone rusty. So steel, aluminum, minerals, I mean, this is all, it's a rich, it was once upon a time one of the great economies and cultures of the world, and it was destroyed.
So what are the opportunities for the United States to be able to buy some of those minerals now that this has changed? And, a lot of people point out that the structure of the government, the Maduro government, is still in place. Are they going to be able to send us to deal with us and get us our hands on some of these critical minerals?
Well, I think you two questions there. But first of all, yes, they're rich in minerals and mining, everything from the precursors that we need for nuclear fuel, for nuclear power plants, to massive amounts of beautiful, clean coal, to all of the rare earth minerals that we need for military and industrial purposes and for high-tech purposes. They're rich in all that. They have killed their mining industry. There were American companies that were involved in mining in Venezuela that, like the oil companies, when they were all nationalized, had losses. Some of those companies have already reached out to us that would be interested in going back in on the mining side. But so big opportunity there again for Venezuela and for the Western Hemisphere to have secure supplies of rare earth minerals that we need, obviously, to get out of any kind of strategic chokehold that China has on the rest of the free world with their processing of rare earth minerals.
We'll see how those negotiations go. We'll be watching closely. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, thank you very much. Always good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming by.
Likewise. Thank you, Martha.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.